about 20 miles from Kabul. But we would get there eventually, but not on this particular trip. Rather, what we have here is a group of pictures primarily from what today would be an Al-Qaeda training camp. We have a guy working with the Dashakai showing him how to do it. This is Dr. Gran with a brand new Chinese RPG-7. And this is the entry to the camp. And if it were a little bit clearer, you could see a few things about no entry required and, stay away and so forth. These guys are loading Kalashnikov. And here's a group of guys. This essentially was the group that we went in with Pir Said Gilani's operation, Hasi Mili. And this is the gang again, getting ready to pray.
Hey, John?
Yes?
I got a question. When you mentioned the Chinese weapon,
yeah,
do they have a free flow of ammunition also?
Oh, yeah. They also provided landmines. They're nice plastic so that you couldn't detect them with a metal detector. And here we are. This is a byproduct of what happens when you have one cluster bomb, but these are runs of cluster bombs. Here's a burst of the cluster bomb. MiG has just dropped this. And this is what happened. This is the hillside that it went into. Here are the people getting out of Dodge. And what can I say? These are all Enfield. These are all really obsolete arms that were given to the AFs by the PACs. We paid the PACs to arm the AFs, and the munitions for these Enfields were outdated in 1947. The date on this is all of these are from 83 and 84 so far. The guy's saying "za," which means comet, because below them in Jaji Maidan is an outpost of the Russian. We have an 82 millimeter mortar coming in. Here's welcome to Jaji, a group of the guys there. And this is Fida Mohammad and Nabi, both Hazara guys. This is how you trim up a log to make a beam, a rectangular beam. You do it with an axe. Here's inside of a rural mosque. Here's some kids, and here's a bunch of goats in the high mountains. What can I say? This is Hakim and Abdullah, and here's Mirwais and a group, and there's Sarjan. That was my bodyguard. These were Mujahideen. They are Taliban. Yes.
So these are the bad guys.
Yeah. Here's some more livestock for you. Here's more goats, and here's a camel or two. This one's being loaded, and this one is loaded and going up a trail, and so forth. Notice the trails are really animal tracks, usually from sheep and so forth, that wander on the hills often enough so that they actually leave tracks. This is a contrast of a dead valley that's been completely screwed up by the Russians, and this one's still alive. It's got water and so forth. This is a watering ditch that they have. And here's marijuana grown behind corn.
All right.
And there we go. I knew I'd get an enthusiast. And here we go up the hill. This is Otakai. This is where we kind of our base in country there. This is the equipment that we would have for filming. There's a couple of cameras there, and little red spots of stuff that I brought in, audio. And this is a Kharabadosh camp, a Kuchi camp. This is nomads. We stayed there a couple of nights.
Hey, John, you said the marijuana was behind the corn.
Yeah.
Is it against the law to grow there, too?
Nope. No, not at all. Here I am. This is food. We're getting ready. They're making bread. And he's working up some stew. And that's Koi Safi. We went over the top of that and over into Jalalabad. That does something like 17,000 feet. This is waking up in the morning. There's some guys up in the high hills. You can't see it too well, but there's landi drying under the eaves of that. Is dried meat, which they have. And over here's another safe area that the Muj guys used. This is again back in Jaji. Guys still trimming the log there. Got plenty of water. They're right at the base of Koi Safi, the White Mountain. And so the water there is almost potable, although you're going to still boil it no matter what. Okay, and here's an unexploded ordnance laying there. And here we have a gal carrying some water, giving you an idea of how they get the water from place to place. This is this guy's horse and the accoutrements of the horse. I thought it was kind of nice because they do an awful lot of embroidery work over there. Someone asked about water. This is a bach, or pond, and the Hyperion water rights we have here in California come from these people. Basically, the first guy that gets the water can use the water for his own use, but as soon as he has exhausted his requirement, the rest of the water has to go to someone else lower down, and so forth. And here's some prayer beads. I say the 99 names of Allah because there are 99 names, and the prayer beads have 99 beads. So there are 3 sections of 33 beads with a little white one or some larger bead in between, so that you've known when you're going one Rafiq. And here's a group of elders. You hear about elders in the villages. Well, that's what one group looks like. Notice how they are well armed. And I think that just about does it with this.
What was this? What was the date?
1983-84. Okay, let's go on to the next group here. Let's see. I think we can probably go immediately into this guy, which is kind of a presentation. If I can find it. 1983-1984. Now this time around, we're going to get a little more like a hike. This now is what a little background on Afghanistan. Here's classic borders. As you can see, is Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. There's China up on the top there. Jammu and Kashmir on the Vakhan. Coming on down, this is all Pakistan. This is actually the Northwest Frontier Province. This is also the federally administered tribal area, so-called. This is Balochistan, and here's Iran. And there we go. Okay.
Geographical border, like the mountains kind of make it up, or did they actually?
No, this is by collusion with the Russians and the English, the Persians and the English and the Russians, and this is the Durand line, which follows the Indus River, and then breaks off and goes over into this direction. Here's a little bit of information about the borders, and you can read as easily as I can. So there you go. Basically, the borders in Afghanistan at one time went from the Persian Gulf all the way to Delhi, India, and into China. Today, they represent the revenge and general bad meaning of the Russians, the English, and the Irani or Persians, because there's never been a central controlling authority in Afghanistan. So to the north you have Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and China. To the west you have Turkmenistan, and you have Iran. And to the southeast you have the British India Company, and later Pakistan, by asserting the specious Durand line. The topography. Well, we have some nice brown showing through there, which is interesting. It's really highland desert. It goes up to about 4,000 feet, and then it really elevates. And this gives you an idea of the drainage patterns that exist. This is the Indus River running on this side, which is not quite, but a drainage area from the Himalaya. And the Himalaya drain and come out into the Rajasthan desert. And here's an idea of what we've just seen, so that you have highland desert up to 2,000 feet, highland prairie from that on up, so you've got some water in it. Then you have foothills up to 7,000 feet. Kabul itself is about 6,000 feet. Uh,